Hello students. So today we are going to deal with the subject that is management concepts and organizational behavior. I, Dr. Priya Raj Butolia, Assistant Professor, Bora Institute of Management Sciences. Today the topic which we are going to deal is the meaning and types of motivation. So that is the first part of motivation. So let's see, the topics to be covered are introduction of motivation, concept of motivation, definition, features, importance, types, and finally the process of motivation. Push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. It is rightly said. If you need motivation, you need to have the internal motivation. Nobody is going to help you out. So inner motivation plays a very important role in personality development. What is motivation all about? Motivation is a force which pushes a person to work with high level of commitment and focus even if things are against him. Motivation में actually वो आपको एक push provide करता है, एक inner drive देता है जिसमें आपका जो commitment level है या जो भी चीज़ आपके अगर against में भी होगी फिर भी आप इतने motivated होंगे कि आप उस चीज़ को achieve करने की कोशिश करेंगे. So motivation is basically acting as a force. The word motivation comes from a Latin word mover, which means to move. Motivation or motive refers to the needs, wants, drives, impulses within an individual. So here motivation is about stimulating people. One needs to support and at some or the other time you need to give a push to an individual. It can be in the terms of monetary as well as non-monetary benefits. Sometimes you can give a motivation to an employee in terms of money, recognition, rewards or job satisfaction. This actually helps in motivation or motivating an employee. So motivation is a very crucial and important part in management. A manager has always needs to motivate his employees. So motivation is a part of management. Now let's discuss the concept of motivation. Motivation may be defined as the act of stimulating someone to take a desired course of action. It is basically a stimulating process, a force, a push that is actually required, that is actually given to a person to achieve a particular objective or particular goal. Motivation is critical to effective management and leadership. To be a good manager or to have an effective leadership, motivation is of utmost importance. If you are very good at motivating people, people will love working with you. Motivation in the workplace is a powerful tool that managers can use to achieve their team goals, get employees closer to their own goals, and inspire productivity and happiness in the workplace. Motivation मैनेजर्स के लिए हेल्प करता है कि वो टीम के गोल्स को अचीव करे, कहीं ना कहीं वो एम्प्लॉय के खुद के गोल्स को भी अचीव करे, साथ ही वर्क प्लेस में एक प्रोडक्टिव और हैप्पी एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करता है. सो फाइनली मोटिवेशन इज़ अ वेरी गुड कंसेप्ट इन विच द पीपल फील अ सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंगनेस, a sense of loyalty, and somewhere he gets a push to do a particular job. So motivation is basically creating a feeling about or arousing an interest in some other people. And if you are very good at motivation, you are a very good leader and very good manager as well as. The definition of motivation. Motivation refers to the way in which urges, drives, desires, aspirations, strivings or needs direct control or explain the human behavior. It is given by Macfarlane. Now here he has said that motivation is actually the way in which you try to control or explain the human behavior in terms of his needs, desires, drives, aspirations. If you somewhere focus on these aspects, you can actually motivate a human behavior. It is also rightly said that motivation is a willingness to exert high level of efforts towards organizational goals conditioned by the efforts and ability to satisfy some individual needs. This definition is given by S.P. Robbins. Now here he has said that motivation is actually a willingness to exert some level of efforts. If the person is not willing to have a particular level of efforts, you cannot force him every time, and the efforts need to be conditions to satisfy some particular individual needs also. Like for example, if you want to achieve a particular target in a company, to help to achieve that target for an organization, you need to motivate the employees too. For achieving targets, you may get some monetary benefits. So in that terms, you can also help the individual to achieve their own needs. Like you can pay some extra incentives to the employees, so they will help you to achieve the particular target. So here the motivation is given in the monetary terms to the employees, so that they will work together, they will feel motivated in terms of monetary benefits, and they will help you to achieve a goal. The features of motivation. Point number 1, motivation is a psychological phenomenon. Motivation is actually a state of mind. In motivation, you can see that the performance is equals to motivation into abilities. So here you can see that it is actually the ability of an individual to perform. It all depends on the person's psychological state of mind in which he or she is affected or is being motivated. Second, it is dynamic and situational. Every person is not being motivated by the same things again and again. You need to change your motivational techniques for every individual in every situation. So the same things cannot motivate the person in always in the same situation. If the situation change, the same person needs to be motivated in different ways. It also needs to be dynamic, because if one time a person is being motivated by a certain thing, second time he may not. So that is why it is dynamic. Third, motivation is not easily observed phenomena. You cannot see very easily motivation factors in organization. Motivation is a goal oriented process. Always motivation is being given to achieve particular set of objectives or particular set of goals. So it is a goal oriented process. It is influenced by the social and cultural norms. Actually, when the society or your culture give an approval to certain things, the individual is automatically motivated towards certain things. Like in particular society, if you feel like having an engineer or a doctor in a family is very renowned or very prestigious, automatically the child behaves in a certain manner to become an engineer or a doctor, because here he is influenced by the social and cultural norms of the society, and that gives him the motivation to achieve a particular set of goals framed or being given by the society in which he or she belongs. It is a continuous process. Motivation is never ending. The person may feel motivated in different forms according to his needs, desires and urge. Sometimes he may feel motivated by one thing, but on the other hand, on the second day even, he may feel motivated by the another thing. So it is a continuous process, it is a never ending process. Till the time we are there, we need to be motivated continuously and by different techniques. And lastly, motivation leads to satisfaction. Whenever you are feeling motivated or you do something, you feel satisfied, and satisfaction is basically the last step of motivation. If the things are not satisfactory on your end, you will not do it again. So motivation leads to satisfaction, and these were the features of motivation. Let us discuss the importance of motivation. Motivation is, it sets in motion the action of people. You can see that in the organization we have physical, financial and human resources. The physical and financial resources cannot be used unless and until you use the human resources very effectively. So human resources actually plays a very crucial role in an organization. So here the motivation factor leads to the people in action he actually gives a push to the human resources which helps the financial and physical resources to come in combination, and it will help you in the achievement of goals. So, somewhere motivation helps the people to be in action. It also improves the efficiency of work performance. Whenever you are being motivated, your sense of loyalty, your sense of dedication increases. You do not have conflicts, and generally the efficiency of people is improved. Here the motivation can be financial or non-financial, and which finally helps to achieve the individual needs, which results in increase in efficiency. Next is ensures achievement of organizational goals. Managers always motivate employees to achieve the particular target or the objective, and in that sense finally the organizational goals are being achieved. So, motivation ensures achievement of organizational goals. It also creates friendly and supportive relationship. Whenever a person is being motivated, he is being helped, he is being cared, he is being supported, his problems are being taken into consideration, there are less conflicts, less distrust among colleagues and among employees. So, people feel very friendly and supportive in the working environment. It leads to stability in workforce. Whenever a person is being motivated or he is being pushed, he is giving a positive push, he is giving a particular motivational force, he feels that a sense of belongingness. This results in the less turnover, less conflicts, and the misunderstandings are even being cleared when there is a conversation, when there is a healthy conversation between a manager and his employees, and this actually leads to the stability of workforce. Here the employees have a less belief that they should leave the organization because they feel very happy working with that manager. And lastly, acceptance of organizational change. Change is a law of nature. In every organization, in every now and then phase you can see changes, but a good manager is the one who always motivates his employees. Whenever the change is being introduced, it should be in a positive note. You should properly have a participative communication, a properly involvement of an employee, and finally the motivation which helps them to accept the organizational change. So, motivation plays a very crucial role in all the factors which we have discussed in the importance of motivation. So, a manager needs to be a good motivator in terms of he needs to put the people in action, he needs to improve the efficiency, achieve the goal, create a friendly environment, reduce turnover or introduce a change. Let us see the types of motivation. There are 5 types of motivation. First is the positive versus negative. Second, rational versus emotional. Third, primary versus secondary. Fourth, financial versus non-financial. And last is intrinsic versus extrinsic. Let us discuss them in detail. The first one is the positive versus negative motivation. Positive motivation seeks to create an optimistic environment in the organization. Example, the rewards or recognition. Actually, positive motivation can be given in terms of financial or non-financial benefits, which creates a positive environment in the organization, and here it can be in the form of monetary benefits even. On the other hand, negative motivation is about installing fear in the minds of people. Here, with the help of negative motivation, sometimes you can get the work done. Example, the punishment. Actually, the negative motivation is not good in the work environment, but still some managers use such kind of punishments or inculcating the fear or creates frustration among employees, which actually hinder their efficiency, but still it is a form of or type of motivation, that is a negative motivation. So, we have seen positive, that is rewards and recognition, negative, it can be punishment. Next is the rational versus emotional motivation. Now, rational motivation is associated with weighing pros and cons, that is advantages and disadvantages of all the alternatives, and then choosing the best one. Now here in rational motivation, the things are logically defined, logically thought. Here the person needs to find the advantages and disadvantages of a particular thing, and then he is being motivated. Like in selecting a particular product, we see the size, weight and price of a particular product. So this is actually a rational motivation, a logical motivation in which you can see the pros and cons, and then you are being motivated. On the other hand, emotional, this is just opposite of rational. Here it involves the selection on the basis of emotional involvement. Here it can include pride, esteem, status, love, anything. So rational and emotional are just opposite of each other. Rational are based on logical thinking, emotional are based on emotions, emotional involvement. If the person is emotional in terms of any birthdays or any functions, in terms of gifting somebody, he or she may behave in emotional motivation factor. Like if it is a birthday of your mother, you may feel emotionally motivated. At that time you won't think about what to buy and what not, but here you need to buy the best. So that can be your emotional motivation. The third is the primary versus secondary motivation. Now primary motivation is basically unlearned, psychological, that includes physiological, that includes hunger, thirst, sleep or avoidance of pain. This motivation is actually physically attached and somewhere natural. You do not need to learn this primary motivation. If you feel thirsty, you will drink water. If you feel hungry, you will have particular food according to your choice. So this is a primary motivation that is not to be learned, it is automatic in your behavior. On the other hand, secondary motivation is learned, social motives that arises as a result of interaction with other people and develops as people matures. Secondary motivation is just opposite of the primary one. In secondary motivation, you need to learn those things, you need to have a social motive. The examples can be affiliation, desire to associate or recognition. Here the things are based on your social motives, like how you need to interact with people. Fourth is the financial versus non-financial. In financial motivation, actually the monetary benefits are involved, like in terms of money. Salary, allowances, bonus, these all are financial motivation in which directly or indirectly somewhere the monetary benefits or financial aspect is there. On the other hand, non-financial do not involve any financial commitments. The examples are job enrichment, participative management and so on. Here generally you do not get any monetary or financial benefits, but you are being motivated in terms of participation or somewhere recognition or your job enrichment. So this is just the opposite of each other. Last one, fifth one is intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Now intrinsic motivation is basically the motivation which comes from inside of an individual, rather than somebody pushes you or somebody forces you to do those things. If somebody is internally motivated, he or she may performs in a better manner. So here the internal motivation plays a very significant role because the person is motivated from inside rather than from any external or outside rewards such as money or grades. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation is related to tangible rewards in terms of salary, fringe benefits, promotions, work environment, conditions of work. So in intrinsic motivation, the person is motivated from inside, but on the other hand, extrinsic motivation, here some external forces are need to motivate a person. It can be financial as well as non-financial, it can be salary, any benefits, promotions, environment, like so on. So these are again the opposite type of motivation. So we have discussed 5 types of motivation. The first is positive versus negative motivation. Second is rational versus emotional motivation. Third is primary versus secondary motivation. Fourth is financial versus non-financial, and last is intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Now, let us see the process of motivation. That is the last topic of motivation in today's class. In motivation, basically we have 3 steps. The first steps includes the needs or motives. So, in the process of motivation, basically the unsatisfied needs or wants are need to be identified. If you are aware of your unsatisfied needs or wants, you can easily be motivated, or you can easily motivate the other person. So, step number 1 is actually unsatisfied needs and wants. In this, the internal as well as the external stimulus both plays a very significant, a very crucial role. Second step is the behavior. Behavior consists of 3 parts. The first is the tension, second search, and third is the performance. Tension includes the physical, psychological or psychological process. It can be in the form of headache or some stress related to your physical body type, or it can be psychological or sociological. So, these tension actually leads to a particular set of behavior. Search. Search is actually finding different alternatives. When you have unsatisfied need, you have a particular set of tension related to that need. You actually go in search of the alternatives, how you can reduce those tensions or how you can satisfy those needs. So, search is basically about having n number of options to reduce or to solve your needs or your problems. Third is about the performance. Performance is actually doing the things and actually finding out the best solution in which you have searched for the alternatives. So, this is the second step of motivation, which is behavior. The third is the rewards and goals. After having unsatisfied needs, after having a particular set of behavior, the person gets reward or goals. The rewards or goals can be satisfactory or unsatisfactory. If the rewards are satisfactory, the person may again repeat the same process of motivation. But on the other hand, if the rewards are unsatisfactory, the person may change his technique to feel motivated, and he may change the process and actually the feedback process of the motivation. So, here the reward is an important part of motivational process. If it is satisfactory, it is again to be repeated, and if it is unsatisfactory, it needs to be denied. And the last is about the feedback. Here, information from revision or modification or improvement is done. Like I have already discussed, if the reward is unsatisfactory, here in feedback the person knows that he has not done the right things, and here actually the process is being changed. So, students, today we have seen about what motivation is all about. We have also seen the features of motivation. We have discussed the importance, the types of motivation, and finally the process of motivation. So, these are the very important topics in motivation. So, now let us discuss a case on motivation which will give you a clear idea about what motivation is all about. Now, in a ABC bank, actually there was a problem related to employee turnover. The manager has seen that whenever he likes to improve or he likes to create a healthy environment in an organization, somewhere while competing with other banks or having a progressive outlook, he always faces a problem of turnover, high rate of turnover in his bank. So, he needs to somewhere solve the problem of turnover. Now, after that he started analyzing actually what is the problem of people turnover. Now, here the manager has done some discussion with his employees. He have even dealt with his seniors that actually what is the problem in the work environment. When he have seen such problems, he took into consideration some factors like there was a problem in the style of leadership, because the people where employees were not at all satisfied with the style of leadership. So, they were actually not liking the boss or not liking the working pattern of the boss. He also examined that somewhere the relationship with the co-worker was also not good. The people were not happy working with each other, and at the last the guidance from the supervisor was also lacking. So, here the manager have actually seen that there were some or the other problem related to the leadership style in the working pattern of the bank. So, here being the manager, being the responsible person of the bank, he tried to implement a democratic style of leadership. In that sense, he tried to convince the people that they have a feeling of independence, trusted and respected, and after a few time he has observed that because of this style of leadership, people were being motivated, people feel trusted, people feel participated, and somewhere or the other manner people started decreasing the level of turnover. Means they were feeling very happy working with the leadership style, democratic leadership style of the manager, as well as they used to receive particular guidance from the supervisor, which somewhere helps them to increase their interpersonal relations too. So, with the help of democratic style of leadership, here the manager tried to motivate his employees, he tried to listen to their problems, and finally he implemented that style which helped the employees to deal with the particular set of leader or the boss. So, with the help of this example, you can see that the manager, instead of blaming the boss or the supervisor of the employee, he tried to find the solution of the problem which the people were facing. He tried to talk to them, and finally he found a solution related to that, and he tried to motivate his employees not to leave the organization. Instead, we can have some modifications in the organization which you may make you happy, which may feel you good in the organization. So, today students, we have seen about motivation and the objectives, the features, importance, the types and process of motivation. I think this will give a lot of importance, a lot of new learnings in your life, and in your daily life even you can motivate yourself as well as the people around you. So, they will feel connected with you, they will feel positive with you, and you will have a happy learning process. So, thank you student, have a nice day.